I have a very good habit of reading, okay? And I read 28 books last year, which is not much. I think for me to be a happy camper, I have to be reading at least 40 books every year. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it's not about the quantity of the books, about the quality. But I hate boring things, okay? So I'm going to try to give you a top 10 books of 2024 without boring you, because every single video I come across that speaks about books and the top 10 lists is so boring, man. So this is my attempt at giving you a non-boring, non-invasive, review of the top 10 books I read this year. And in the end, I will tell you two books I hated this year also, just as an addition. Number 10 is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. In this book, we have a young lady who decides to kill herself, but she doesn't die. She's taken to this library of sorts where there's a librarian, and the librarian says, since you're so unhappy with the life you lived, all of this library is full of books, and each book contains a life you could have lived. So she goes about choosing which life she wants to live, and she undies and goes into a different life. Boom. Number 9 is by my mentor, Rob Dial. It's called Level Up. It's a book about how you should quit procrastinating. Most of the stuff he writes in this book is stuff you already know, but then that's the purpose of reading nonfiction, to affirm to your half-believing thoughts and ideas. Level Up is a very good book. It's nonfiction, like I said, it's a self-help book. I think it takes courage for people to actually read self-help books, and very few people are courageous. I don't know why, I don't know for what joy, but definitely if there's something you want to do, if you want to get off your behind and stop procrastinating, you can consider reading Level Up. Number 8 is going to be a shock to many people. This book is called The Three Mistakes of My Life by Chetan Bhagat. It's about these three friends, okay? And it's about the life they live. One of the friends is the narrator, who is a very intelligent, very deceptive person. The second is the son of a priest. The third is a cricketer, who is not quite a cricketer. And they're very unhappy living in a Gujarat, lower middle class kind of a life, and how they rise in ranks. And it's an amazing book. This was made into a film called Kai Po Che. I did not like the film at all, but the book is fantastic. Chetan Bhagat is quite good. I know it's not cool to like Chetan Bhagat, but he's damn good. Number 7 is a book I read because I wanted to read a book in one day. And I read this book maybe in one day. And that book, my friend, is called Sidharta by Hermann Hesse. It is based on Gautam Buddha and his life philosophies. But we have a person who doesn't quite imbibe everything Gautam Buddha says and goes about his life trying his own ways. He becomes a sadhu, he gives up materials, he becomes a materialist, he eventually becomes a person who helps people cross bridges, he becomes a boat guy. It's just a fascinating book, and along the way you learn something. I can't quite say it in words. You have to read Sidhartha by Hermann Hesse for that. Number 6 is Nexus by Yuval Noah Harari. This is the 4th book by the author that I'm reading. He's only written 4 books. This book is about artificial intelligence and how it is controlling our life. It also speaks volumes about bureaucracy and the invention of documents. You will have a fun time reading it. Yuval Noah Harari is one of the best authors in the world of non-fiction books. He's a very good storyteller. Nexus is a very painstaking read. I think 65% of people who will pick this book up will not finish it, but don't be that guy or girl. Okay, finish Nexus by the next book is absolutely delicious and lovely. It's very long and it's very difficult to finish, but it's called 20,000 Streets Under the Sky. It's difficult to finish because when you see what is happening to the central characters of the book, you start feeling this melancholy for them. And that is gasp inducing. Basically, the book is about a guy who's in love with a prostitute, and he wants the prostitute to become his wife. He's a waiter in a restaurant, at a bar. He's a waiter. He is quite charming and good, and he has saved 80 Great Britain pounds. And the year is 1910 or 20, I don't remember. Set in the 1920s. It's set in London or New York, I'm forgetting. I think it's set in London. I could be wrong. It's set in London, yes, of course. He's a British guy. Patrick Hamilton's 20,000 Streets Under the Sky. What a fantastic book. This will make you weep a little, and it left me absolutely ambushed. I was not expecting it. It killed me. It killed me. Number 4 is a great book by Chetan Bhagat. Again, it's a non-fiction. It's called 11 Rules for Life. I don't know how this guy is doing it, man. He's absolutely killing it for my money, and I think he's absolutely fantastic. In this book, he talks about 11 rules for life, and he taught me a lot, buddy. He taught me a lot. I heard the audiobook of this. I did not read it physically, and I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend you read 11 Rules for Life by Chetan Bhagat. It is seriously good knowledge, you know. For example, he has written Three Idiots, the book, which became a film. So you know how good he is, you know. And again, top 10 books of this year has 2 listings by Chetan Bhagat. I have previously named another book called 3 Mistakes of My Life, and now I recommend you 11 Rules for Life. Moving on to number 3. Number 3rd best book this year was Bulls, Bears and Other Beasts by Santosh Nair. It's a book about the Indian stock market from the beginning till now. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Got a lot of knowledge, wealth of knowledge about the stock market and how it works. Got to know about Harshad Mehta, got to know about all the big bulls and all the big bears of the world. Really understood how the stock market works, and it's a very interesting, fast story. You will absolutely love Bulls, Bears and Other Beasts. Again, I heard this book, did not read it much. I heard the book more. It's a fascinating story. Number 2 is Hangover Square by Patrick Hamilton. Again, Patrick Hamilton has featured twice on this list. 20,000 Streets Under the Sky was my number 5 book, best book of the year. And number 2 is Hangover Square by Patrick Hamilton. Again, a heartbreaking, lovely book about a guy who's not quite right in the head. Lovely story. You will finish it in 3-4 days. You will not be able to stop. I know for a fact there are many of you who want to read this book. This is my number 1 book of the year. It's called Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson. I did not do an audiobook for this because it's not available in India. This is a massive book at about 630 odd pages. This is a massive book. It took me about a month or 2 to finish it because it's very intriguing, but I was also going a bit slow. I was being very lazy with this book. Don't wait for life to pass you by before you begin this. Don't wait for 2027 to read it. Read it now. Even if you're 18, read it. Even if you're 78, read Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson. I have read maybe one other book by the author. I have read Steve Jobs by the same author. And this is Steve Jobs better or this book better? I would have to say this is a better book overall because Elon Musk is a better guy overall. And he's a crazy guy. You get to know about how he thinks, what he thinks, how he implements, how many businesses he has done. If you're not a fan of Elon Musk, I especially want you to read it. How dare you not be a fan of Elon Musk? How dare you have the nerve? This is the book of the year, guys. I'm gonna put links to all the books I have mentioned in the description column, so feel free to click around. And this is a fascinating book. Why is this my book of the year? I've learned so much from this guy. I'm a businessman and I care for that kind of thing. 2 books you shouldn't read: Murder Road by Simon St. James and In the Dream House by Carmen Machado. I'm not going to talk about those 2 books, but don't read those books. Peace out, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye now.